not this one. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the August 4th Public Works Committee. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 2.
So moved.
Mr. O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Mr. Zlotnick. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item, Hadley-Luzerne Bridge fencing project, and working with GPI on some ideas. I think at this point it's important we have this discussion. Personally, I'm not asking for any action at today's meeting, but have spoken with Supervisor Wright from the town of Hadley. And I know Chad's working on this as well. So Chad, if you could give us an update, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Hadley-Luzerne Bridge it's located in the town of Hadley, in the town of Luzerne, Warren County. So it spans the river. And what this project is all about, or this contract with GPI, is to take a look at possibly installing some fencing to deter trespassing on county property. The bridge is accessible. Underneath the bridge is relatively easily accessible from the roadway, and has been utilized for jumping from the bottom, the underside of the bridge. In 2012, the board passed a resolution for no trespassing in the area adjacent to the bridge, in response to an accident that happened there where someone had jumped off the bridge and passed away. So that has been in effect since 2012, and I'm not sure how successful that has been to keep people off the property. So recently we installed some additional signage indicating reference to both the county's resolution indicating it's trespassing, as well as the Warren County's passed a similar resolution. Also noting references to penal law, New York State penal law, that prohibits those sorts of actions. And we recently installed those new signs on our side as well as Warren County side. So indicating that it's dangerous, potentially deadly for swimming or jumping from the bridge. There are YouTube videos where people have videoed themselves jumping from the bridge. So this fencing project was to sort of take it to another level to help deter people from trespassing on the property. So that's what you have in front of you. Is we reached out to GPI, it's a consultant we utilize for a number of our bridge and highway projects. They took a look and drafted the proposal that you see in front of you to install fencing on both sides of the bridge, on the Luzerne side as well as our side. And typically with projects that we have with Warren County, we typically, in the past, we've taken the lead, and then we've developed an intermunicipal agreement with Warren County to share the costs associated with not only design but for construction. So we would propose a similar model here. We have been in contact with Warren County regarding this project. They're aware, and lately we've discussed some potential issues with fencing in this area, perhaps some obstructions to first responders accessing the area, and also the bridge is inspected by DOT every 2 years, so there could be some issues with access for them as well to inspect the bridge. So I think that speaks to what Chairman Barrett had indicated about possibly putting this on hold for today until we sort of sort out those details with Warren County and bring something back to you with maybe a revised submission. So that's where we stand now.
Yeah, and I think there's concern from the local municipality as far as the, what some of the behaviors that have been exhibited in past years, and the inherent dangers that are that occur with that type of behavior. I think the signs were succinct and easy to understand and hopefully will be heeded. But as Chad described, there's still some issues that need to get worked out here, whether it be, partner agencies that we work with or Warren County itself, and how an agreement might proceed if we move in this direction. We certainly don't want to inhibit the ability for our partner agencies to work in that area and do what they need to do on other safety measures that may occur. So appreciate you getting it to this point, Chad, and it's something I think this committee and the county generally is taking very serious. Are there any questions for Chad or myself at this point?
In terms of inspections, Chad, do they ever use drones for this kind of thing? To go down and take close-up pictures or videos and stuff like that instead of climbing down?
I think there may be some of that happening more recently, but the traditional inspection is a truck that's parked on the bridge with a platform that's extended out from the bridge and underneath, and the inspectors are typically either inspecting from that boom truck or they're crawling on the structural members, looking at every bolt.
Okay.
So it's a very detailed, thorough, comprehensive inspection.
So they probably have to poke at it physically.
They do.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other questions about this subject?
Just one, Chad, the physical condition of the bridge?
It's excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, bridge is in good shape, yeah. Yeah, there's no issues there that we're aware of. Yes?
Could you just give an update on the guardrail extension?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, we met on site with the sheriff, and we took a look at some options to further prohibit parking and access to the bridge. There's a rafting company that has a business at one of the corners of this bridge, on our side of the bridge. And it's often used parking, people are parking along the side of the road and then accessing the rafting company and also getting underneath the bridge to jump and do whatever they do. So one of the things we talked about was extending the bridge rail to prohibit parking in that area. We have done that. I think another step that the town of Hadley is going through is passing a local resolution prohibiting parking on this county road. And once that happens, we will go out and install some parking signs to, again, it's a further deterrent for people accessing this area.
Good. All right, well, as you continue to have those discussions with our partner agencies in Warren County, just keep us abreast, and perhaps this is a matter that'll come up in next month's meeting.
Will do.
All right, great. Thanks, Chad. All right. I also want Chad to provide some project updates. We have some county projects that are in various stages. Chad, if you could give us an update on a couple of things here.
Sure. So there are two projects down in the southern part of the county, Clifton Park. One is a signal installation at the corner of Bishop Ferry, the intersection of Bishop Ferry and Grooms Road. That's currently a four-way stop. We're going to be installing a signalized intersection there. So, like many projects are experiencing now, we have a delay in receiving construction materials. Right now, it's anchor bolts. So the contractor should be in the next couple of weeks breaking ground to install signal bases, run conduit, install signal poles, and we are anticipating having that signal energized and operational by November 1st. And the other project we wanted to talk about briefly was the Ashtown Road Bridge Replacement Project, and that is also in the town of Cooke Park and has experienced delays in receiving materials, particularly structural steel for the bridge, and also galvanizing the steel. There are a limited number of vendors that have the ability to dip the steel this size and galvanizing tanks. So there's sort of a backlog with that vendor, and in addition to backlog in receiving the steel. So in addition to that, we're also at the mercy of the railroad and their ability to provide staffing so that the contractor can work. Lately, the railroad staff have been on vacation, so they've been unable to provide anyone to watch the activity and shut activity down if there's a train coming through. So we expect the next few weeks are going to be quiet out there as a result of that, and then things should pick up with setting steel and pouring deck and getting things back on track. We are scheduled right now, I know my notes say October 1st in your packet. I believe October 4th is the anticipated reopening date.
Well, let's hope.
Let's hope.
Yeah, so, visited the site recently and spoke with the engineers that are overseeing it from Creighton Manning, and, basically they relayed everything that Chad just mentioned. Chad has also uncovered some additional information that he relayed to this committee, but the labor shortage that we're experiencing in Saratoga County, it's occurring throughout the country. So supply chains are being affected significantly. Some supply chains are being affected worse than others, but I think across the board, it's difficult to get a lot of materials. I mean, here we have two projects, steel, galvanized steel, and the steel vendors right down the street, basically, right? As they explained to me.
Right.
So it's not like the steel vendor is, in Canada or something. They're right down the street here. And you had mentioned anchor bolts for the other project.
Right. They're waiting on anchor bolts, correct.
Yeah, so it's a challenge. There's no doubt about it. As it was explained to me recently, and I think we all understood this, that the labor shortage in the county was acute prior to the pandemic, and now it's obviously much worse. So anyway, what about paving? How are we on pace to get all our paving done, and culverts? Any jobs we have outstanding?
We do have a couple of projects outstanding, but yes, they are scheduled for completion. We're trying to wrap up most paving before the start of school, but there will be some stragglers, obviously depending on the weather. But we're scheduled end of August and early part of September. We're hoping to wrap up a lot of the larger projects, at least the ones that we're doing with county forces. So.
Good. I do want to just point out, thank you, there was I noticed a tree, rather large tree along Main Street in Jonesville that didn't look very healthy. And I asked Chad to have it checked out. He checked it out, confirmed that it could be an issue, and they took it down expediently. And so thank you for taking care of that, because that was fairly close to the road, and obviously any tree in that position that's not healthy needs to come down. And I did see the guys out working this morning along the roadside on Main Street, so.
Yeah, we have a talented group of,
doing some finishing touches on the paving job.
Yes, we have many talented groups, paving and trees and you name it, so we can do it all.
Very good. Any questions for Chad about projects that might be in play in your towns or under? I don't have a list in front of me, but there might be something going on in your particular towns. All right, I guess that's it. Any other business to come before the committee today? All right, I do ask Chad, if there are projects occurring around the county that will be delayed due to labor, materials, whatever the case may be, if you could just relay that information to the committee and the supervisor of that municipality so they're aware.
Will do. Yeah, I'm in pretty regular contact with supervisors if we have a project in your town.
Yep.
Whether that's override schedule, or my phone rings when there's a question or a problem, or which has happened, you know, oftentimes when after a road reconstruction, it's nice, flat and black, and speeds increase. So that's a pretty regular phone call I receive. But I'll be in touch with every supervisor that has a project in their town.
Great.
You know, now
Thank
that you mentioned speed, Chad, just one quick question. You know, we've had a request in for 9P, the speed on 9P with DOT for a year now, and we haven't heard back. And since we're at the year mark, would it make sense for me to send an email or make a call down to DOT, or what do you think?
Yeah, typically they respond within a year. I think that they'll typically tell you these things could take up to a year.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad idea. I can reach out to them. So you passed a resolution, sent it through our office?
Yeah,
and
it's been there for a year, so I just had it calendared now since the year is passed.
Okay, I'll check on that, and
okay.
and if we haven't received anything, which I assume we haven't, otherwise we would have notified you, but
Okay.
if we haven't, I can reach out to them and find out.
Okay, great, thank you, Chad.
Sure.
He's our quorum, I just wanted to make sure he wasn't leaving.
We can't even adjourn unless.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We'll be in
We're
session
stuck.
forever.
We'll just stay here for the next few hours.
Get the sleeping bags out.
Just look at each other. All right, any other business? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Mr. O'Connor, Mr. Zlotnick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.